What's the top 5 podcasts out here? Because every time when I talk to Joe, he say he the best. Okay. I can imagine Charlamagne.
I'm gonna be honest.
Let's just say urban rap podcast because some are
urban
music,
yeah,
some
please.
Are,
yeah, I don't listen to the other ones. Tax Stone, man.
He's number one.
Tax Stone. No. Tax Stone was the person who actually changed podcasts because prior to podcasts, we had Warren Epstein, Peter Rosenberg,
Rap Radar. That turned into a podcast later.
Well, it came. Rap Radar came
into a podcast later.
After, but they came. I think Rap Radar is probably like a year and a half before me. Mm-hmm. But people don't know Ice-T had a podcast. Mm-hmm. The reason why I give the props to Tax Stone was he brought the streets to the podcast. Meaning, listen, you had to be I'm a nerd too. But you had to be a nerd to mess with podcasts at that time. Tax has some ability. I don't know what he did. I don't know how he did it. But he had some ability where Brooklyn people were like, yo, you heard the new Tax Stone shit? And I was like, what? I'll give you an honest story. Tax Stone, I was watching him on the internet. I was, because he had it lit. I like to give people props. Mm-hmm. So Tax hits me one day and goes, yo, if NORE don't do my podcast, I'm going to run down. Now, run down means two things. Run down means I'm going to run down, or it could mean I'm just going to say what's up to you. Yeah. So I couldn't tell. So I'm looking, and I'm like, but he did say, yo, I know NORE's a shooter, so I'm going to be careful. He said that. So I told him, meet me. I said, yo, no, I'm not coming to you. Meet me. So he came and met me. When he came and met me, I was in the bar drinking. So he was like, yo, I'm outside. So I came outside. A dude, this is probably the first time in my life, a dude said to me, yo, NORE. I said, what's up? He said, yo, can you take a picture for me? And I was like, yeah. I think he wanted me in the picture. He handed me the phone to take a picture with Tax Stone. And I was like, oh, shit. I said, I'm the worst picture taker, but I'm going to do it. I took the picture, and I recognized Tax Power at that very moment. At that very moment, I recognized that podcast, that the world is shifting from radio. What I mean was all our information was radio. Radio was Twitter. Radio was Instagram. Radio was Facebook. Radio was Snapchat. That was it. That's the only information. If Tupac and Biggie had beef, you didn't go nowhere else but Hot 97. Power 105 didn't even exist back then. So that was all of it. It was Angie Martinez, Funkmaster Flex. It was all. And when I see what Tax did, I said, holy shit, information is shifting. It's shifting. It's not, because mind you, the internet got introduced, but it's shifting. Like, people are getting, the way they're getting their information is different. And they get to choose, because you can mistakenly listen to a radio station. You can't mistakenly listen to a podcast. Right. You gotta download the app. Mm-hmm. You gotta, this is a whole fucking process. There's a whole big process to listen to.
Or go on SoundCloud.
But again, you need the SoundCloud app. You gotta type in your code. Mm-hmm. You gotta actually.
You're not just flipping through the dials in the car.
But I'm saying, just think about it. You can just be in New York and be anywhere, and you could just stumble on a radio station. You can't do that with a podcast. So, when you say who's the number one podcast, even though he's in jail, and him and Troy Zav situation,
it's crazy.
It's terrible. I did not see that coming. I was friends with them both. I remember one time I left.
Would you intervene if you could?
If I would have knew, hell yeah, I would have. If I would have knew, I thought they were both friends, my dude. I'm sorry.
I think that's one of the unfortunate situations.
Excuse me.
About that.
I didn't think they were both friends. I thought they were both not taking it as serious as it went.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I would have knew that this would have came here, of course I would have intervened. I helped squash Fat Joe and Jay-Z beef. Yeah. I tried to help squash Styles P and Troy Ave beef. Yeah. Like, I was on a roll at this time. I was squashing so much beefs. So of course I would have intervened. I thought it would have came here. But so when you ask me who's podcast, you said the number one podcast. Yeah. I can't tell you who the number one podcast, because podcast is a weekly thing. It changes every week. Every week it changes. But if you tell me the person that I think that brung black people more, Spanish people more, hood people more to podcasts. I've got to give it to Tax Stone. I cannot front.
So before we go then, looking forward, how long do you think podcasts are going to be at the level that they are now? Do you see another medium coming in, or do you just see them getting bigger?
It's definitely another medium coming. You guys are setting it off. Because the thing about it is this. I watched food shows, and I said, why there's not a hip-hop food show? And then everybody will argue with me and say, well, Action Bronson has one. And I got to fully agree with you, right? You got to say, yes, Action Bronson does have one. But it's Action Bronson. It's not just all solely based on hip-hop, right? Then I said to myself, Jim Jones the other day, I'm not flossing on nobody, but Fat Joe called me and said, get on my private jet. We're getting the hell out of Miami because we're going to die. That's his exact words.
Wow.
He overdoes everything, but it's like you can't say no.
That's a great
escape. We're going to die.
Plan, yeah. Let's go.
You're like, all right, cool. He's like, you get on my private jet. Okay, cool. Then what happens is I land, and when I land, all my messages is like, why you didn't save Jim Jones?
You left Jim Jones out there to die.
Nah, Jim out there by choice.
So listen, look,
Jim beefing with a hurricane like he's a rapper.
Yeah, no, listen. So look, I hit Jim Jones immediately. Like, yo, my bad. I didn't even realize you're out there. He's like, nah, I'm good. And then I go on his Instagram, and he's actually reporting the weather. And I know he's playing around, but why shouldn't we have hip hop weather?
I agree.
That's
Some of the
where
stuff
this
I
is
see
going?
Cam doing on social media.
Okay.
And that's why I thought you were smart with what you did.
Listen, this is what I wanted to answer your question. I feel like I'm breaking the mold by having a food show, hip hop, right? Should I reveal who is what?
Go ahead. Breaking news, man. We need something.
All right, I gotta get breaking news.
Come on.
Yeah, for real.
Let's go, Nori. Let's go.
But I feel like a food show. But I feel like I don't want to ever put it on TV. If I could put it on TV, why can't I have my version of it? Meaning, I really gonna, when I go back to Miami, I'm really gonna sit down with Jim Jones and say, please, can you be hip hop's weatherman? Like, why?
It makes sense.
Why shouldn't we
Yo,
have?
he's hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I'm watching him now, and he's giving his spin on it. It's so ridiculous
loved it.
funny.
So she asked me, where's it going? So this is what I want to do. I want to produce more shows. Like I seen Jada Kiss. And Jada Kiss, they were dead serious. Him and Little C's, they had a basketball game. But I called them both, like as they're practicing, like Kiss will post some shit, then C's will post some shit, and they dead serious. Like he's like, yo, no, these niggas think it's a game. I'm like, yo, Kiss, you gotta relax. You know you're a rapper. Like he's training. I call C's like, yo, I'm gonna pull up bar right now. Me and Kiss gonna go
I
out.
seen all that shit was so entertaining.
So what I'm trying to say is, why the hell we gotta go to somewhere else? Why Ice Cube laid out the format. He did the big three. Okay, the big three. That's great. It's a wonderful idea. Let's do the big three hip hop. Let's just keep everything hip hop. So that's what when you say where the game is leaning towards, I gave you that example. But me, I want to just keep producing these shows.
Let's go, Nori. Let's do it.
I got 3 different shows. I got another show. I can't announce this one. But I have another show. And I'm saying to myself, so on the contract, they say, you can't do no more shows, brother. You gotta
got too
relax.
many.
You gotta relax, right? So you gotta relax. So now I'm saying it's even better for me because I want to go out and produce people like Fat Joe show. Like Fat Joe, he's serious about sneakers. Fat Joe would tell me when he shot somebody. He'll tell me when he makes love. He'll tell me anything. But you ask him, yo, where'd you get them Jordans from? He act like he don't hear the question.
Nah, he is one of the people
He's serious
like,
about his sneakers.
He's been known for his sneaker game.
He's serious. So I'm saying, why we can't make a show, Fat Joe, based on your passion of sneakers? Big up to Joe LaPluma. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Joe LaPluma, right? You know, I'm dyslexic. But what I'm saying is, okay, why we can't have a Fat Joe show where a college show where these guys are really serious about their sneakers. I like sneakers. I don't love sneakers. I realize that. Clark Kent. Like, why should we have to go outside the box?
You know what's so funny too? Because most of those rappers you're mentioning,
Right.
shit, Fat Joe's a character. And I think the new generation, I remember saying the same thing about you.
Right.
most of you guys, like, you see nowadays, the new rappers are like really introverted. So you put a camera on them, they're not really gonna say much. They don't really have too much of a personality. From the era you guys come from, all you niggas is characters. That's what really plays out that, okay, maybe the music may not be connecting with the newer generation, but you put a camera in front of you guys and like have like a show in mind or something like that, it's gonna be entertaining.
And that's another thing I want to do. I actually want to open an artist development company where, you know, these artists come, they do everyday struggle and they suck at it, and then I call you guys and say, please don't put that out. But let me train this guy. Let me train him to be media, you know, ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do that. I don't even want money for it. Like I want to train people, because the thing about music is always going to be limited if you're not, you know, a superior artist. But if you're just a regular artist, you have a certain, music has an expiration date. But if you're good, it's just like, I'm a prime example of it. I was cold as hell, but I was cool with Charlamagne. I was cool with DJ Envy. I was cool with Ebro. I was cool with Peter Rosenberg. I was cool with Lil. So even when my records wasn't playing, I was constantly on the radio. So people were constantly saying, yo, we want NORE to come back to Hot 97. Yo, NORE,
was your interview.
Come back to the Breakfast Club. You know, come back to the Breakfast Club. And I said to myself, you know what? I went to Canada. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded. I went to Canada one day. I'm just randomly walking around in Canada. And a dude came to me and said, Breakfast Club. And I said, what the fuck? He didn't say no NORE. He said Breakfast Club. And I said, damn. And I looked and I went like this. And I couldn't tell if he was saying, I like your interview on the Breakfast Club, or
you were the Breakfast Club.
I'm on the Breakfast Club. And I said, you know, they're already doing what they got to do. But what if I create that for me, where people can come look at my interviews, but for me? That's why when you look at the Drink Champs, the only comment that the fans hate is I cut people off, and they like, you cut people off. You always do. But what they never realize, it's never been about the artist. It's not once been about the artist. This is my show.
That was the best ending to a story ever.
This
ain't about you. This ain't about you.
You here for a temporary moment. Yeah. Just like I am here. This is y'all show. So and on that note, we ending it.
We have to, but I'm sad. I'm sad that you have to leave now.
More questions.
Larry's been trying to rap me for 10 minutes already.
You cannot come back, Joe Buttons. Why is he not here? By the way,
here's the funny thing about it.
That's a good question.
Every time when I watch this nigga's interview on the Breakfast Club, I read the comments and it says, this nigga always there for like the longest interview. Yeah. And you are approaching the longest everyday struggle episode.
So you got 2 more questions. Just randomly hit me with something. That's the thing right there?
Yeah.
We're at an hour.
We got to do a 112 at least. Let's take it to 112.
Let's leave it to Ak. Ak always has a random end of the interview question that just comes out of nowhere. Don't tell me this is the one time you got nothing. Ask NORE a running joke or something offensive.
No.
But why is Joe not here? Is he on vacation because it's his birthday?
Joe,
I know we both
are you on vacation or?
Joe has taken all Fridays off. Like
it's just me and Ak on Fridays.
Yeah, he would like for other rappers to come mix it up with us, that he could be well rested for
on Friday,
and then destroy you on Monday.
Oh,
so just know he's gonna talk shit on Monday.
Listen, Joe. Listen, Joe. Rory.
Hey, the Puff pay for that chain.
No,
that Drink Champs chain.
Wait, let me think about it. Was this a roll check?
You can't.
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
See, they were about to rap. And now that's in 2 minutes. I don't know. I haven't seen this critique. Let me ask you.
Fat Joe
I knew he was going to have something.
Fat Joe definitely paid for the Terror Squad chain.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've been down with Terror Squad for 25 years. These guys been running around with the big Terror Squad chain. And I asked for a chain. And he gave me the littlest one.
No, but it's a good size, though.
For
layering. It's like not trying to spend
But it's VBS. It's VBS done.
Okay.
Do you normally wear all those chains, or you just wear it for like today?
No, I'm on and off with jewelry. Like sometimes I wear a rubber watch. I don't really care. And then sometimes I just want to feel good. You know, like today I woke up. I was so excited to be here. I believe they called me on Thursday or Friday. It's like, yo, you want to do everyday struggle?
Yo, we were waiting for you to cancel like, 10 minutes before the show.
I was like, what? You know, I was here 20 minutes early.
Yeah, you're the man. He came, but he was like, don't show me the topics. I'm just going to chill while you do your thing. Then let's start.
I do want to ask, though, because I do know a lot of people who love your podcast.
Okay.
And they did mention to me, they said, this is one critique they have. They feel like ever since it's
We
gone
sold out to Revolt.
well, not more than selling out. I think they feel like the content is diluted because now you can't get to really be you. And you're right. They're there for you. Fuck a guest.
What they don't realize, one, is you're a little crazy because here's the deal. There's no way we could be the same on YouTube. It could be on television. But the content is still there. It's the edits. So all you got to do is watch it on Thursday on Revolt TV. Every Thursday we're on Revolt TV. It's a shameless plug again. I apologize. But on Monday night, the raw version comes out. The raw version comes out. But mind you, Revolt did pay for them to lead the podcast, meaning for them to go first. And I couldn't turn down the offer. It was fantastic. So if people say I sold out, probably.
The check was worth it, though. The check was worth it.
Probably.
You had to secure the bag.
But the content has never changed.